Planet Coaster 2 releases in just under 24 hours. Yes, it comes out tomorrow at 3 PM British time. I can't wait. And on the run up to its release, if you haven't seen in my previous videos, Frontier have very kindly given me early access to the game to play around and build whatever I want in. So, you know, I've done my fair share of things. I've built some different roller coasters, rides. I changed Thought Park roller coasters into water slides. And the main thing I worked on from the off as soon as I got this early access game was a recreation of 13 at Alton Towers. Obviously, with Planet Coaster 2 bringing in drop tracks and switch tracks, I thought it was the perfect one to build. And in episode 1, we obviously started the coaster and started that main facade. And in this second episode, I've already finished it. So join me as I build the final parts of this recreation and then take a look around to see what I've done, including the inside of that drop track building. So if you do enjoy this recreation and you want to see that POV video out tomorrow and you want to see more content of Planet Coaster 2, then subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. Hello and welcome back to the 13 at Alton Towers Planet Coaster 2 recreation series. That was a long as hell intro to say those words. I almost stumbled on them. But welcome back to, I don't know what I'm talking about. Welcome back to the series. I say series, but this is the final episode because tomorrow the official POV and off-ride sort of video releases. I know a lot of the time in these sort of instances where I'm building a recreation, say in Planet Coaster 1 when I built Nemesis or even Hyperia for that instance, I did probably about 3 or 4 episodes, if that. Yeah. This one's been 2 episodes, and the reason for that is purely because 13 in general, around the ride, there's not too much theming, so all you really have to do is, especially nowadays, just use the scenery brush and it's done in seconds. So that's one reason, and the second reason is just time, really. Of course, I don't want to spend my entire time of starting to play this game when it first comes out, just building 13 for ages and ages. And considering it's that easy to do with all the trees and stuff, and I've sort of done the best I can with the station building and the inside of the drop track and this queue line, as you can see, that's going in here, I just wanted to make it as quick as possible. I know a lot of people's series and stuff go on for ages, which is completely fair enough. I'm definitely doing the same when I start my own park series, but this one I just wanted to make a quick and easy series. So today, you are going to see the finished product of 13. I mean, you're not going to see all of it because I'm going to sort of hide away the station building and not show you certain aspects of it because I want to leave it a surprise in the video. Not that it's the biggest surprise because it's a recreation, so you know what's going to happen anyway. But either way, not going to show everything, but I will be showing you the inside of that drop track building, the indoor queue line when it's been finished. Hello, if you... I don't know what I was typing on there. As you can see, this indoor queue line, as I'm speaking about it, I'm actually writing on the walls, if you go down to the woods today, you better not go alone. Which is in the real indoor queue line. And as you can see, I was sort of moving that sign into the wall. What I've realised since doing this is there is actually a new text piece that you can use in the game that just has no background to it whatsoever. So I could have just done that without hiding the sign and just using it in front of the wall, and it would have been way easier. And if you don't know what that weird like curtain drape looking thing, the red thing right there is, it is called a drape in the game. And I used a lot of them to make the sort of wraiths that you see in that drop track building. I'll go through how I made them as well. But that was my sort of telling of how tall a guest was. So in the old game, people used an animatronic of a real person. I'm just using a curtain. My genius is almost frightening, but I used that because it was there and I sort of thought, well, that's a good way of telling because it was a certain scaled percentage and that's how tall the guest was that I sort of checked the height against. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm using it as a gauge for how tall I need to make the queue line fences and the actual height of that building up there. So as you can see, I'm also making some stairs right here, probably the least effective method ever to make stairs. I know there's probably much easier ways of doing this, but I do not really care because it worked in the end. And we're building that staircase up to that indoor queue. Now you may be wondering, am I going to build the entire queue line itself? Will I be building that entrance sign and the whole Rita Plaza? No, Clearly not, because I don't have the time, purely because, again, I would be spending so long on this recreation, and I don't really want to do that, especially when the station itself is too big, so I actually can't link up the queue properly or anything, as would have been the issue in Planet Coaster 1. So even with that being said, I have not made the queue line and surrounding area, but this is a 13 recreation, not the 13 queue line recreation. Maybe one day I'll go back and do the queue line, but for now, I'm not going to. Instead, I am going to transport myself to the game live. And here we are in the park. We've got a woods directly in front of us, and if you can see off in the distance, oh my god, what is that I see? That was also perfect timing for it going over that drop. Welcome to 13 at Alton Towers. Again, perfect timing on that. Wow. Someone give me the lottery numbers? That doesn't make sense for that joke. But either way, as you can see, the train is going up the lift hill. And I'm just going to quickly show you what I've been working on since that first episode. So talking of the lift and drop, as you can see, the support work. Now, of course, 13 does have a very strange support sort of system on its lift hill. It's just more of like a square based one, like it has these squares in it, and I don't really know how to explain it, but it also has the main support coming down too. So what I've done there is just branched across those supports like so. Very easy fix to make, and I've also added a bit of catwalk at the top on this little section here. Whee! As we come further along the ride, as you can see, a lot of just greenery and shrubbery, because that is literally 13. Like, there's nothing else around. It is purely just sort of woods and trees. You've got this little higher up ladder type thing to get up to the catwalk, along with some barriers down here, which I noticed on a POV I watched, and they seem to be there all the time, which is really weird. And then up here we have the complete looking indoor drop track, which, as you can see, is currently closed in by that door. There's no real shutter type door that comes down from the top, so I had to do it that sort of way, and I know that wasn't central when it shut, but that's because if it was central, it would flap out of these scaffolding pieces and it would look really, really odd. I'd rather have a symmetry issue than a door issue. But we will take a look over there in just a moment, because first of all, I want to take you over to the queue line. And yes, I know I was just talking about the fact I'm not going to be making the queue line, but I've made a little bit of it because, you know, it would look a bit weird without the entire queue. And I've also made the exit and that ramp for the ride access queue as well, because I thought this main area here is like prime 13 queue line. You know, you've got the ladder over the top of the stairs that is not there in real life anymore, but I brought it back because I am a strong believer in hashtag bring back the ladder. You got the baggage hold there, all the different queue lines, so fast track, single rider and main. It's probably not perfect, but again, this isn't for the queue line. It's a 13 recreation, not fence. And as you can see, we'll go under here and up into the indoor section of the queue, under the ladder, of course. And I love the lighting in here purely because you don't have to switch it to night anymore. Look, it's bright outside. It's dark inside. But as you can see, it says if you go down to the woods today, and then I put the, I know it's not like it in real life. You shouldn't go alone. You should. And of course, that Tesla coil in the center. For some reason, there isn't any electric effects other than these sparks, so I've sort of had to make do. It looks like it's run out of power and it's just completely broken, but you get the point. And from there, you do go into the station. But as said in the time-lapse stage, I totally haven't finished that, and I'm going to save that for the POV video. Little bit of a surprise there. But either way, we should probably move on to the one thing you've all been waiting to see, the inside of this drop track room. We will follow the test train in, but as you can see, all the lights in here go a bit orange because they're supposed to be like a candle light type thing. You can see the little lantern things at the side, and then the door's shut, and here we go. Flashing lights all the way down where the wraiths are, and then it will reverse all the way back. You have the wraiths right at the side and right in front that all light up green when the train is about to accelerate backwards. Why was it just so bright? Go back dark. Thank you. And then, of course, the cracked wood flooring and everything. All the sound effects that I'm going to edit on and everything. You can't seem to get those sorts of sound effects in the game yet, which, if you watch my live stream tonight, then I'm going to talk about the fact that it's coming in a future update, along with station changes, which is an absolute godsend. But yeah, I'm genuinely really happy with how this turned out. And then, of course, I unpause the game, and that comes straight back up. And the door opens up again. There you go. And then the next train's on its way. Is there already one coming? Yep, there you go. The operations on this thing are incredible. We'll get one last look at this in action. The door closes. And then down it goes. I don't know why there's a light at the front. I know that's because of the sort of coaster train it is that it has a light, but can we have a way to turn that off, please, Frontier? I know with how quickly I seem to have finished this project it may not seem like I took much time with this. I've been playing the game for about 2.5 weeks now and been working on this constantly, so I'm so glad I finally got it finished. And as said, I'm really excited for you guys to see the POV tomorrow. So subscribe and leave a like if you want to see that and more Planet Coaster 2 content.